Tim Elliott to take over the rucking duties from Peter Everett.
Quickly down to the boundary line. Dipper and Curls. Good evening.
Nice to be with you, Sandy. Boys, Curls, your home ground. What's going on?
Great conditions down here. Promise there'll be a fantastic match.
Here we go. Tim Elliott is pumped up in the middle. He's doing the ruck work. Tony Francis tries to get it out of the centre. He does so. A chance now for the Saints to go forward. In fact, the advantage is paid. It finishes with Harvey. He goes wide to the outer side. That's okay. Finds Gavin Mitchell. Still 75 metres out from goal. Mitchell looks down towards the forward line. A congested area, a bit of pushing and shoving. Hinckley was the meat in the sandwich on that occasion. Hinckley goes again. Pressure on the defence of the Adelaide Crows. Ben Hart has been excellent, and he is the meat in the sandwich there again.
Well, St Kilda really turned their season around last week with a big win at Waverley against the Demons. They did it primarily by getting the ball out of the centre, and after the first bounce, they cleared it beautifully.
Towards half-back, Jason Trianides couldn't take it in the first attempt. Butters up nicely for the second. Off he goes to Nathan Burke. St Kilda in attack towards full forward. Nigel Smart is there. Smart hurriedly onto his boot. Down towards Eccles. He's got it on half-back. Handled it like a hot potato, but that's okay. Off to James. Now they're out of trouble. Bickley in towards the centre. At the back is Robert. The Crows go surging forward. McLeod has it. A left foot pass in towards full forward. No mark taken. Plan is the call. Kane Johnson is there. And there's going to be a free kick going the way of St Kilda. But a frantic opening, Jared.
Yes, physical opening. You'd expect that from both of these sides. They're here to they're here to play football, and Matthew Young was just scragged there and a legitimate free kick. Andrew Thompson, one of the keys for the Saints. He really has stepped up another notch in the first couple of games and allowed Rob Harvey just to float out to a wing.
And as well, Sandy and Jared, Damien Ryan has a job on mark with shooter. Big job for the youngster. Elliott
goes wide to Peckett, no one on the mark, so he tries to crib a few metres towards Stephen Ziller. Ziller can run on, 35 metres out. Ziller shoots for goal for the Saints, but he's off target. First score of the night is a behind.
Once again, Nathan Burke playing in a back pocket, and he's picking up James for the Crows.
The Hound, Bassett, brings it back into play. Ben Hart has the ball. Curls interchange players.
Yeah, interchange for Adelaide, Costa, Binky, Gallagher, Wintle, and for Hawthorn, St Kilda, Brown, Jones, Baker, Walton.
They'll all get their chance a little bit later on as the Roo goes in, but the free kick had already been paid to Tony Francis. Settling nicely into his new club. Short to Elliott. Played on. Now is forced to pop it over the top into the middle of Jason Trianides. He recovers. He beats a couple. He scoots clear. 55 metres out. Kicks in towards full forward. Peckett is lurking there, but so too is Hart. Jimmy's been busy early on and gets it up to Bassett. He's in trouble. Probably a little hand pass over the top. Finds it down towards half-back flank. They're going to be okay. Up towards Rodgrove.
Just been struggling early in the season, Matty Rodgren. Had an interrupted pre-season, but off to a good start tonight.
Kicks towards half forward. No mark. Francis lurking once again. Prosciutto is there with Trianides. Harvey tries to get through some heavy traffic, and he does. They push it towards Lowe on centre wing. He takes the mark. Plays on to Francis. Another 25 metres to Joey McLaren. McLaren over the top to Trianides. Picking up early touches. Passes into full forward. The Saints doing the bulk of the early attacking. Heatley's a long way out. It's a great kick. Centering kick is a beauty as well. Wakeland has drifted down, and Darryl Wakeland will have a shot directly in front.
Yeah, he's the opponent to Robin at this stage. Robin's playing at centre half forward for the Adelaide side, and Wakeland just come down the ground. Good play. Great vision there by Heatley. Certainly could have went to the goal square, but saw Wakeland out in his own. Good play by Heatley.
Kicking from 35, Darryl Wakeland. Saints made a flying start against the Demons. And love is similar tonight. And the red, black and white flags go up at the back. He's kicked his first and the Saints first.
And it's been all St Kilda so far, Doug.
Certainly has, Gerald. And just looking at a couple other matchups, very important here. See, Mark Stevens got the job on Stuart Lowe. Did a great job last week on Ben Holland. So certainly Adelaide have a lot of faith in him. But it's been a good goal there. Great start by the St Kilda side. Their play down the outer wing here was just brilliant. Their disposal of the football, particularly Jason Trianides, was outstanding.
Saints by 7 points. Adelaide yet to go deep into their attacking zone. Pittman Marvellous last week. Tonight it's a different ball game. Francis is a real little terrier. He's working hard at the bottom. Elliott comes away. I think there might have been a whistle. Goes on quickly towards Francis. He plays on towards half forward. McLaren again. Back again he goes to the little man. He's in trouble. First one way, then the other. Now more direct, in towards half forward. No mark taken. Big man Bustling was there. Couldn't do anything with it. Bassett may get claimed, but not before he gets the hand pass away. And Tyson Edwards on the end of it goes to the outer side. Atkinson is lurking there for the Crows. Pops it up towards McLeod on centre wing. Couldn't take it with the one hand. The door opens for Elliott as he slips it towards the line. There'll be a throw in.
Yeah, just think again, last week the back line of Adelaide was outstanding. You see that will be the same again.
And Darren Jarman playing at full forward for the Adelaide Crows, and he's been picked up by Max Hudson, who was named on interchange. But if you remember, his early season form last year was fantastic.
Harvey to half forward. Smart chops it off. Been a lot of talk about his footing, but he had no problems there in holding them. Nigel Smart in towards the centre of the ground. Robran, one of the targets. Eccles was there also. They jostle for it at the bottom.
And Doug, I think one of the keys to travelling interstate when it is going to be a big game is to get on the board early and keep the Crows crowd in particular a little bit silenced.
Jared, no doubt about that. I've played here probably 3 winning sides, 2 with Footscray, which are now the Western Bulldogs, and 1 with Fitzroy back in '95. Keep the crowd quiet.
Still 22 degrees, pretty warm here as Thompson goes to half forward and Big Bad takes it. Hall is at half forward, 50 metres out.
Good start to the Saints if Bustler could just put this one on the board. You see here Andrew Thompson, who really has become a top quality midfielder, kicked the ball long and direct, a one-out contest, and Hall has just got a bit of height advantage over Ben Hart.
Kicking eventually from 47 metres. Just about very good. That'll fire up the part-time boxer, part-time footballer, part-time excitement machine, really. Tyson Edwards in the back pocket. Neatly pulled back. Atkinson can swing it up towards Eccles on centre wing. Started with the Preston Knights. Now he kicks up towards Pittman in front of Elliott.
That's got to be 50.
Just about be 50 metres.
In fact, he did it pretty well there, David Pittman, because Tim Elliott overcommitted himself, but he could feel Elliott on his back, and he helped just drag him down, which forced the umpire to give him the 50, and now a shot at goal.
I wouldn't say that's one of the longest 50s either in the land.
And your thoughts are echoed by some 30,000 Crow supporters there, Sam.
That's why he's got it.
See there, Pittman just hooking the hand over and dragging him down. Good smart play.
Good play by him.
Kick from 52, going close to the man on the mark. And in so doing, pushes it slightly to the right. Crows on the board, however. They're down by 7 points.
Yeah, he was very good last week, Pittman. And I just wonder now with Everett out of the side, it's a big arch for Alec to play against Pittman. He's in good form. Plus a big bonus for the Adelaide side. They've got Ian Downsborough too, who could certainly come on the ground, add a bit more into their competition as well there.
Peckett comes the members' side. Traianides the target. Wakeland was held by Eccles. Play goes on. Atkinson, a fierce tackle. Wakeland over the top to Traianides onto Burke. Taken out of it. Maybe a little late. No, said the umpire. Good pressure. And it forced him to kick it over the line on the full. Nigel Smart on centre wing. A wonderful night here in Adelaide. They're being spoiled with their sport. It's fantastic. Up towards the 50. Big pack of players. Traianides busy early. Just tumbles a little one to make 25 metres back towards the wing area.
Looks like Mark Pickley's got the job on Robert Harbour, so he'll be playing him very, very close.
And Francis and Atkinson also a match up in the middle of the ground.
Pittman front spot. Wins it with the right hand. Kane Johnson then goes to the room. He pumps it high and long towards full forward. Jarman didn't fly. Neither did Robran. He was out of it. Justin Peckett at the bottom. There'll be a bounce.
There's one young fella down the Adelaide forward line who was brilliant last week. Young Brett Burton. If he can find his kicking boots, he's a very exciting footballer.
Wakeland kicked a goal earlier. Now back in defence. Trying to get a touch. Comes towards Trianides. Gets away from Kane Johnson initially and eventually gets his kick. Now Hall's got to beat a couple here. This will be interesting. Tried to get the hand pass away, but it wasn't long enough. Pittman intercepted. Pushes wide towards Eccles. He's caught. Could have been tripped. He was tripped, said the umpire. Is the advantage going to be paid? No, it will come back. The whistle had sounded.
Tony Francis makes a blue on this occasion by going the big knockout blow rather than going for the tackle.
Eccles into half forward. Robran, Johnson, McLeod, they're all there. Peckett out the back door. Hall, crunch. A little too high, said the umpire.
Well done, both sides are attacking their football fiercely. It's going to be a tough physical contest.
It certainly will be, Jaron. Here we are to see Barry Hall. He's been reported, has he, for that?
No, I think the crowd wanted 50 out the way the ball was delivered back. There is none. And Bickley will take it from the middle. So Mark Bickley, every player is in the Crows' half of the ground. Every player. Bickley's kick is long, well inside 50. Big pack of players, a couple of leapers, including Downsborough. Look out, here's McLeod, sweeps the hand pass. Atkinson shoots towards goal, but taken on the last line of defence by Stewie Lowe. He defends to the outer side and finds Stephen Ziller. Away he goes, even wider to Joe McLaren. McLaren's almost down to centre wing. Looks towards Mitchell. He's pretty quick, but so too is Tyson Edwards. Well smothered, well done by Mitchell. May open the door for Thompson. No, there's been a whistle and back it comes.
Big job for Edwards. Mitchell really gave them a spark up in that forward line, and not only is he of value because he kicks goals, but he also works hard in the defensive area and gets to players, puts some pressure on, keeps the ball in the St Kilda forward line.
Edwards to a big pack on centre wing. It included Robran. Darryl Wakeman keeps the ball in. 7-point margin to St Kilda. Did all the attacking in the opening couple of minutes. Adelaide has steadied, but have managed just one behind. 10.5 minutes remaining. Francis controls it well. Goes towards half forward, not well directed, and Bassett may rue that dropped catch. Although somehow they might get out of it. It's going to come back as a free kick. I think it's gone St Kilda's way. It'll be Mitchell to take it. 45 metres out. Bad
mistake there by Nathan Bassett. He was certainly on his own. He did all the great work to get out and play in front of Heatley on that occasion and just followed the football down. He should have marked that one. That's a bad drop.
Gavin Mitchell has booted 5 so far this season. 5 goals, 2 to his name. Out. Big kick for the Saints. Big kick for Gavin Mitchell. It's a good kick for Gavin Mitchell. He's got his first, and St Kilda extend their lead. 2-2 plays one behind.
Certainly has been a great start for the Saints, and as Gerard Hurley said before, when you come to footy park, you've got to start well and keep the crowd down, and certainly keep the players down to the Adelaide Crows. But gee whiz, I reckon Adelaide's probably only gone inside their forward line on probably 3 or 4 occasions inside 50. But it is a great start. And then the young Ellis done a pretty good job so far in Pittman.
Well, despite the absence of Peter Everett, the Saints in the 2 centre bounces to date have taken them away quite clearly. Challenge now for the Crows to equalise.
13 points the margin. Francis couldn't get a hand on it this time. Trianides locks it up.
And now just having a look at the matchup between Brett Burton and Justin Peckett. It looks as if there's a bit of a height difference here, and we know Burton a big leaper.
Peckett will play him close with body and may take his leap away from him.
Here's Atkinson tumbling a puck down towards half forward. That's a fine catch by Brett James. Boy who started with Norwood, went to Collingwood, now back with the Crows.
Just touching on that contest, Burton and Peckett, I'll certainly look at that later in the game, because I think, as you said, Jared, I agree totally with you there that he's got a great pair of hands, the youngster Burton, and that could be mismatched later in the game.
James for the Crows first. Starts at left. 12 points the margin. Tense opening, I think we can say, here at Football Park, as Young sprints away from fullback. This is going to have to be pretty good. It is to Tony Francis. He's certainly given them some bite. Around the packs. He's a real little goer. He's got Harvey loose, who can chip to half forward and Peckett.
Interesting, Sandy. He had Nathan Burke very wide, but clearly, I think in his mind, Peckett, was that the coach wants him to play through the corridor.
Barry Hall screaming for it. He's got it. What can he do with it now? Just chips it down towards Harvey. He's now 60 metres out. Look out, that's dangerous. Zilla caught and will be pinged. Through the ball, the advantage is paid. The Crows are out of trouble. McLeod's got as he sprints towards the centre. One bounce. Through he comes now. He's away with two. Still he goes. Andrew McLeod. The drop conduct towards centre half forward. Nathan Burke is in front and he defends well.
Not often that Nathan Burke loses two individual contests in a row. He was outpointed by James only a couple of minutes ago, but the ball comes straight back down and Burke prevails.
Francis.
Got to go long.
Well, he's persisting with chipping at the moment and finds Shane Wakeman. Has a look further downfield to size up his options. Stuart Lowe was a target. Atkinson is claimed by Lowe and is going nowhere. Dimmer.
Sandy McLeod was off then. Just great chase by Harvey then. Forced McLeod to take two bounces, and of course that long kick fell into Burke's hands. It's a great chase by Harvey then.
I just reckon you got Stuart Lowe down at centre half forward, Jared. You've got to use him. I mean, okay, it's good to keep possession of the football, but when you've got a guy who can mark the footy 10 or 12 times like he can, get it down to him quickly where he's one-on-one.
There is Lowe. He was looking for Francis, doing it with the left hand. Atkinson pressures him over the line. Throw it in.
Looks like there may have been a match-up change. Bickley has gone on to Thompson, and Andrew McLeod going 1-for-1 with Robert Harvey. What a great battle that should be.
Lowe doing the ruck work. Tyson came over the top. Eccles does the shepherding. Didn't really work. Elliott leaves it for Mitchell. He's ripped off the ball and didn't appear to have it. And finally, Stuart Wynn comes in to take control.
Doug, the creative skills of Harvey versus the creative skills of the superstar from Adelaide.
They're both superstars, aren't they, Jared? It's going to be a fantastic contest there. I'll just touch on David Pittman, where he caused a lot of problems last week, was playing a kick behind the play, and Paul Salmon let him do that, I suppose, to some degree. But you see Elliott now playing man-to-man.
Look at this. Here he goes again as Costa warms up on the sidelines. That is a good mark to Maxie Hutchton at centre half back.
It's an old-fashioned matchup, Sandy. McLeod versus Harvey, two of the greats of the game, and they're on each other.
We have an absolute treat in store for you. Stuart Lowe.
I just wonder there, Jared, maybe Kim Costa, who did a great job last week in the second half on Shane Crawford, he may go to Harvey, which may release McLeod to come that running half-back flanker for him.
Lowe drifts it down towards right half forward. Andrew Thompson was beaten by Bickley. And he comes back towards centre wing again. Pittman looking for someone going fast and got him. That was okay. Wakeland shows courage as he backs into that pack. Hutchton comes storming through, gets the hand pass away to Elliott. Now St Kilda have a chance to go down towards Hall and Co. Barry Hall has got it in front. Wants to go on with the job, gives it back to Elliott. 55 metres out, puts it over the top. Bassett gets chase. Bassett gets chase, but to no avail.
Well, Doug, it was great work by Maxie Hutchton, who he attacked the footy. Darren Jarman raced back towards the goal. It was a 50-50 job, but clearly it was a win there to Max Hutchton, and he was the one responsible for that goal, despite this magnificent kick from Tim Elliott, who finished off the good work.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jared. That was a good mark by big Barry Hall. As you mentioned before, it could be a bit of a mismatch there if Ben Harder gives away 4 or 5 inches.
Kim Costa is on the ground for the Crows. Brodie Atkinson is off for the moment. St Kilda are 3-2 though. They've got a handy 18-point lead. The closing stages of the first quarter. Johnson couldn't take it. The Saints through Young go wide to the outer side towards Thompson again. He's shoved off the football by Bickley, showing strength. He gives it away to Tyson Edwards. Flicks it high up towards half-forward. Rogram makes plenty of ground. Had to beat a couple and was forced to defend.
Yeah, Kim Costa has got the job on Robert Harvey. I thought that may occur, particularly after last week's performance on Crawford.
Tony Brown standing by for a run too for the Saints with under 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Pittman, Elliott, Harvey around the body but pressured towards the line. He goes over on the full. Girls.
Yeah, Sandy, I think the reason we're seeing St Kilda chip the ball around, I think Timmy Watson's done his homework. He realised the Crows' defence is a very good one and he's trying to unsettle them with some short movement.
Well, it's working at the moment. Elliott was the spoiler in that pack as Wakeland tumbles a punt back towards centre wing. Crows have the numbers at the back, a chance maybe for Bickley. First one way, then the other. Maybe they've got a chance now for their first goal. As they go down towards half-forward. Burton was one of the flyers. Couldn't get a handle on it after the big kick coming in from Downsborough. Jarman in over the top. There will be a ball up. 25 metres out from the Crows scoring zone.
Just looks like Stuart Lowe has a free rein at this stage. He's playing at centre-half forward, but every time the ball seems to go inside 50 for Adelaide, he takes Mark Stevens down to that goal square. He's done it 4 times now.
On the boundary line, Tony Brown preparing to come onto the ground for his first run. Saints just rotating their midfield, and they've got plenty of options now, particularly with the form of Tony Francis.
Eccles tries to soccer off the ground, tries to go again. Trianides! Again, out on the ball. Third one by the Saints in this quarter. Nigel Smart, 65 metres from home. He goes short. Not short enough, and Wakeland takes it over the line. Darryl Wakeland has 1 goal. Gavin Mitchell has 1. Tim Elliott has 1 for the Saints. Adelaide still looking for their first. Very little breeze here at Football Park. It's been a magnificent day. Temperature still in the low 20s. Wakeland kicks back towards centre wing. McLaren over the line in front of Nigel Smart.
I just reckon we're going to play like Darren Jarman, who's struggling at the moment. If I was probably the coach of Adelaide, so I'd bring him up the ground and give him a chance in midfield for 5 minutes. There's Tony Francis from the ground. As you said, Jerry, Brownie's on the ball now.
As he sprints onto the ground, realising there's not a lot of time left. Smart almost gave away a free kick there. Trianides. Well, he put his teammate under a ton of pressure. He may be equal to the task. Held it for a long time, then eventually got his kick. McLaren down towards left half forward. Flick to the line, there'll be another throw in.
Interesting role for Joe McLaren. Spent a fair bit of the game last week on the wing, and he was absolutely scintillating in the first quarter where he picked up something like 10 possessions. But today he's on the half forward line, and Nigel Smart's his opponent, so he's going to have to be very wary of his defensive skills.
Here's a big change for the Saints with Aussie Jones coming onto the ground. Trianides off it, but this is Kane Johnson. He's away from half back down towards centre wing. He kicks it wide. It was good. The mark is taken on right half forward. Still a long way from home though, Brent Burton. In just his 3rd game, kicks into Justin Peckett, and it ricochets over the line.
It's one of his faults last week on probably 4 or 5 occasions. He only takes 2 steps and he has a kick, and that appeared only to be a goals, but looks like around the ground now he does the same thing. You've got to get back, give yourself a bit of room and have 4 or 5 steps, and then kick through the football.
Throw in on centre wing. Low, Winton. Just trying to palm it down. Mitchell off the ground. Gains 40 metres. Down towards Hall. Hart taken out of it. Hall needs help. Barry needs help. A cry of ball in front of the members. Play goes on. Up towards Nigel Smart. McLaren there also. It's over the line.
I think Nick Curley's spot on with his assessment of the forward line, as we see Big Bustler do exactly that, to just get his handball away. Because whenever there's a free ball or a set ball situation, the St Kilda forwards spread themselves, trying to put some space between the defence of the Crows.
Low front spot in the throw-in. Thompson couldn't take it. Kane Johnson does. From Stevens towards centre wing. And again over the line, out of the arms of Wakeman. Couple of minutes left. Good start by St Kilda in a low-scoring, tight affair on this Sunday night in Adelaide. Elliott front spot. May get a chance to go again. Tried to paddle it out to Harvey. Didn't quite get the fingertips to it. Eccles does well to give it to James. He goes towards half-forward. McLeod pushed it down. That was very clever. It finishes with Kane Johnson. He heads for home with a long bomb. And Justin Peckett is there in the last line of defence.
Just looking at Mark Rashudo, he's been fairly quiet. He's only had one kick and one handball, Jared. And I mentioned young Damien Ryan was a big arc for him, and he's done a good job so far.
Yes, he's kept one of the superstars very quiet.
Aussie Jones on the ground. He's been on for a couple of minutes. He'll be very keen to impress. He'd love a big game here at Football Park tonight. Peckett running straight down the ground. Takes it now, then drifts it in towards centre wing where Nigel Smart came leaping through the pack to push it forward to accommodate Costa. Maybe it's Adelaide now. Beautiful kick. Now, go back this time, young man, and take your kick. Maybe more than 2 paces, Dougie.
Oh, I hope he gets back there, Sam, and gives himself every chance. But Kim Costa, that was brilliant play. He was certainly caught behind Robert Harvey, and he just came forward, followed the ball up, and his vision to find him was just brilliant. Good play by Kim Costa.
It was unlike Rob Harvey. He let the ball bounce a second time. And,
he hit it real hard, Jared, did he?
Didn't bounce kindly for him, and Kim Costa came through, running in a straight line, and really did steal it.
Brett Burton kicking from some 45 metres. Gives himself a decent run up and puts it straight through the middle. Wonderful kick. Handy goal with 33 seconds to go in the quarter.
Yeah, great kick there by young Brett Burton. Like I said last week, showed enormous potential, but his kick on the goal certainly let him down. But on that occasion there, here he again, once again, Kim Costa tapped the ball out in front. His pickup was first class, and to look up and find young Burton was brilliant by Costa. But on that occasion, gave himself plenty of room and a good goal for the Adelaide Crows. They need that goal.
Malcolm Blight sees his side get on the board as far as goals are concerned, thanks to Brett Burton and a fine run by Kim Costa. As we go back into the middle, centre breaks are all important. And St Kilda have been doing it at the moment, 3-1. In fact, make that 4-1 now as they go down towards half forward. Stevens leaves it to Hart. The captain of this defence, and he does it so well, finds Tyson Edwards.
It's going to be the great challenge for Barry Hall. We know he's got a strength advantage, we know he's got a height advantage, but has he got the legs to run with Ben Hart?
The two captains strong with each other. McLeod is off with the siren. He'll go no further. Quarter time here at Football Park. An exciting first term in front of a full house. Just 4 goals scored. St Kilda booted 3 of those. Gavin Mitchell kicked 1. Darryl Wakeland 1. Tim Elliott booted 1. And Brett Burton in the last couple of minutes of the quarter getting Adelaide on the board. At quarter time, it is St Kilda 3-2-20 leading Adelaide 1-8 as we take a break from Football Park. On the start of the second quarter.
And Malcolm Blight has obviously told David Pittman to go forward because Downsborough, it looks, is in the ruck.
And he wins the kick out of the middle. Downsborough down towards half forward. Robran goes with a fist and gains 15 metres. Pushed in towards the pocket, then soccering wide was Young towards the boundary line and over.
I think one of the problems with David Pittman, Doug, was that Tim Elliott was running him away from the football and allowing Stewie Lowe to come down and play that midfield ruckman role.
No doubt, Jared, because last week Pittman played the kick behind the play and it certainly suited him, but tonight Elliott's staying with him.
On centre wing, Tyson Edwards leaves it for James. Gets the hand pass towards Bickley. That was interesting. Tyson Edwards will tidy up for his skipper, and he does it well. Now, the centering ball into half forward. Big pack of players. No one able to take the mark. Pittman tried to soccer off the ground. Wakeland almost flicked it out to Francis, who gets it on to Burke. He's got Stewart Lowe loose. Lowe can have a look down forward. He goes long in towards Barry Hall, who's going to take the free kick or he's going to be paid the mark. Big bad bustling. 5 metres out. Now he'll go back.
I think both ways there, Sandy. I think the free kick and the mark of Barry Hall. Stewie Lowe found himself in plenty of room there. Could have 2 or 3 bounces and ran inside 50 and may have had a shot.
Yeah, Aussie Jones, who was looking for his second possession, very disappointed.
Went for the handball.
Hall doesn't waste a lot of time in lining up, and he sprays it to the right.
It's been impressive, though, the one-grab nature of his marking.
Bassett for the Crows, down by 13 points. Finds Hart in the back pocket, goes over the top to the Roo. Blazes into the centre, and that's all we can say because it's fallen into the big hands of Stuart Lowe. He wouldn't be happy with that, Mark Rasciuto.
One thing critical last week with the Adelaide side, they certainly did turn the ball over on a few occasions when they're uncontested with their disposal.
To half forward, and Elliott almost uncontested. Well within scoring distance. Tim Elliott has a look at the mark.
Yes, and David Pittman, no, in fact, it was Downsborough, just over-committing himself. And Elliott can really top off a great start to the match if he can put this one through.
Kicked a goal in the first quarter, Tim Elliott. That is away to the right.
They're the ones that end up killing you. Missed goals from set shots. That's 2 from about the same distance out, 40 metres. They can make the difference on the board at the end of the day.
2 in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it should be 5 or 6 up the Saints.
And what so often happens is the opposition can run it down the other end and make them pay with a goal. Pittman lays it off like lightning. Look at the skills of McLeod. He looks 1, 2, 3. Backs his way through the centre. Looks for something down at half forward. The leads are on. A couple almost collide. And Whiteman, in a wrestling act, takes the pack to the ground. A 14-point margin. He almost single-handedly lifts the roof off this stand, does McLeod. Another ball up.
I'd just like to see Darren Jarman now come up in the midfield. He hasn't had a touch yet, and I just think a player of his ability and the way he uses the football, he'd be better suited for a 5-10 minute spurt on the ball. Get him into the game.
Here's Thompson trying to break free of Downsborough. Eventually gives it to Trianides. Floating high kick is a difficult one to mark. Also contending with the lights. That makes it hard. McLaren twisting and turning. Went out of one into the other. Nigel Smart says you're going nowhere. 14-point margin. Still with the Saints. Pittman beaten for it. James gets the hand pass away. Very, very quick. Down towards McLeod again. Wants to go on with it. Little worm burner pass to Kane Johnson. Johnson from 45 metres is away to the left. Could have almost gone out on the full.
Could have maybe been a free kick there to young Burt. I thought Pegger certainly pushed him there, Jared.
Not dissimilar to the one at the other end with Barry Hall.
Touched before it went over the line. Gee, only just. Look at that. There's the throw in. And that kick is going to be very, very close. It was from Tim Elliott. It was almost perfect. Throw in again. Robran this time, setting himself to do the work. Got a touch to it. Thompson. Waitland. Chops his way through some fairly heavy traffic, does Shane. Goes back towards centre wing. Pittman got one hand to it, but that was all. Bentley was taken to ground illegally. The advantage is paid. Tyson Edwards should score. Away he goes. Into full forward. He scores. He goes.
Well, that could be the last roll of dice, right? He jumped at the moment. I think that's his opponent, and it certainly is his opponent, Tyson Edwards. He got caught off there a little bit. The free kick was there, and the advantage was given to his opponent in Edwards, and it was good play by him. It was a great kick at 55 metres out. That's been the difference between the two sides so far. Adelaide can finish off where St Kilda have been struggling.
Getting tight. And I think, Sandy, you can write that goal down to Malcolm Blythe, because an inspired move putting Pittman down onto low. He won that individual contest, and well, Edwards topped off the goal.
The big men are setting them forward once again. Burton gives it to the little James, who gives it to Bickley, who gives it to Johnson, back to Bickley, 52 metres out. He lets one go, but it's away to the left, one behind. Girls.
Sandy, Timmy Watson, he's certainly done his homework. What he's endeavouring to do is to crowd up the Crows' system of play and you know, get a packed situation. But this is why he's crowding the play, because he knows that the Crows are a free-running side.
Done it pretty well at the moment. Young to himself. And then just spearing it into half back to Tony Francis. Wider again. Hutchton looks towards centre wing. Downsborough got the second hand to it. He tried to give it to Smart. Joey McLaren's riding him like Roy Higgins. And he finishes up with it. Crowd not happy about that, but he finds Stuart Lowe.
And it's a good matchup, because McLaren got the pace to go with Nigel Smart, and very few have.
Lowe puts them inside 50. Big pack of players, a big fly. That was Burton. He loves a fly. Hall gives the hand pass away. Could have been taken high. And Big Bad is going to get another crack at it.
He was necked. Nearham tackle. Just slipped up above the shoulders, and Barry Hall picks up a free kick. Third set shot for the quarter for the Saints. They haven't drilled one yet. They need this one to go through.
7-point margin. Virtually no breeze here at the moment. Ball from 49 metres. Well, he's pulled that to the left as well. 3 behinds to Barry. So he'll be wanting the drought to break pretty soon.
Just going to kick those goals. That's your bread and butter stuff when you're forward. You're only 40 metres out. Bit of a slight angle. Just going to kick through the ball and kick the goal.
Hall may get another chance. No, he doesn't. Edwards holds it just in time after the Bassett kick out. Edwards heads towards centre wing. That kick's a little too far. Too much on it. Young has got it on centre wing. He's got Elliott in the middle. Uses him now. Peckett's even wider if he wants him. He does. Kick's got to be good. Peckett to half forward, lowers the target, not the lead, but chipping in to take the mark is Brent Burton. Just his third game, and that was a gem.
Well, it wasn't just a great mark here, but there was enormous courage shown there. Two of the biggest men in the business, Pittman and Lowe, were bearing down on him, but it was full commitment, total commitment for the football.
Hutchton to Harvey is okay, off to Waitland. Darrell pumps it high but wide, and Pittman takes the mark. Too much height for Aussie Jones in that particular encounter.
Looks like Nigel Smart's gone into the goal square next to Darren Jarman for the Crows.
To centre wing, Francis the crumbs, unable to take it. Tyson there for the Crows also. And another ball up. Fascinating struggle unfolding at the moment. An 8-point ball game. St Kilda leading, getting a couple of quick goals at the start of the match. Now it's tightened up. James. Pittman almost hands it to Eccles, who looks towards the 50. Burke, an effective spoiler, but pushes it straight down the throat of Eccles. He can go again. Nigel Smart has it taken out of his hands. May get another chance. He goes in the back of the pack. Burke's in trouble. Gets the hand pass away. Waitland pushed into the kick.
I think it's
James has it, but it's going to come back.
Over the shoulder there, Sandy, to Nathan Burke against Nigel Smart.
No question of that. He had him round the neck. The skipper, the veteran of 251 games, comes towards Lowe, but Johnson's in front. Pittman was there also. Johnson first in line. Screaming for it was Roderick.
You wouldn't know about the distance, would you? It's a big kick, this guy.
has been quiet, but has the opportunity now of putting his stamp on this quarter with a goal. This to make the margin a couple of points. He's a booming kick, isn't he, Dougie?
Oh, we saw him last year in that preliminary final against the Doggies.
Yep.
And he kicked 5 or 6 big goals.
52 metres out, it's coming back, but all too late. Behind.
A couple of good tagging jobs here at the moment. Damien Ryan's doing a ripper job on Mark Rashudo, and Kim Cox has done a very good job on Robert Harvey as well.
Dipper.
Yeah, Jason Heatley's come off the ground for St Kilda, and Barry Hall's now playing full forward. Also going with a forward with Ozzie Jones and Mitchell, so he can just get those crumbs around the feet of Barry Hall.
Thompson at half-back. Thinks about Trianides, thinks about Wakeland, but then thinks about Elliott. Got a hand to it, could have almost been held. The umpire said no. Skills of Harvey on show. That was great to see. Mitchell wide on the outer side has got to give a little ground. Young chips away into the centre. Packett picks it up delightfully on the half volley. He looks down towards Stuart Lowe now. Lowe gets in front and takes the mark. He'll have a shot 30 metres out.
Just great judgment in by Stewie Lowe there, and Mark Stevens got caught. Not Mark Stevens. Pittman got caught trying to look for Stewie, trying to feel his body, but couldn't find him and missed him. And just a good pair of hands. Stuart Lowe's got to kick the goal here.
Big crowd hushed. They know that their side has a battle royal on their hands tonight if they're going to take the points. The boy from Mount Eliza. In his 258th game, this is yet another set shot. Number 4, but it's much better this time, and he's got it. Stuart Lowe's got his first, and the first for the Saints for this quarter.
Yeah, very good goal there by Big Stewie. St Kilda's side, I think, as Neil Curley's mentioned a bit earlier, the boys were chipping the football around. I'd just like to see him go a little bit more direct and quickly into a guy like Stewie. Here's Mark Young on this occasion here. Got the ball over to Packett. Very good play by him. He's playing on Jarman. A kick long, marked by Lowe and goal. Good play by the Saints.
£13 points the margin in favour of St Kilda.
And the Crows really do need a lift, Sandy, I think, from their very biggest names. The likes of McLeod, who's been pretty well held. Rodman hasn't got near it tonight. Mark Rashudo also well held. And Darren Jarman yet to trouble the scorers. And it's really the likes of Bickley, their skipper, but more of a hard-working player rather than a superstar. Edwards and the youngster Eccles that are keeping the Crows in this match.
Centre break again going the way of St Kilda. Oh, look at Elliott. He's on fire as he floats a punt, and it's not a pretty one. Down into the forward line. Out of bounds. But he's playing like a man possessed at the moment, Tim Elliott.
Well, he's a player with an opportunity.
Yep.
Tyson's just been taken from the ground.
Ozzie, the whistle had sounded.
Just watch this young kid, Jared, young David Gallagher. I saw him last week and he just showed some glimpses of very good form. Got great balance. And the good thing about the youngster, he can go both sides of the body. He's got a good future.
Free kick goes the way of Pittman on the last line of defence. Under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Pittman towards centre wing. Elliott almost got a hand to it. Socket off the ground by Burton. He's a real athlete. Robin couldn't quite take it. It was a difficult one, but he's very quick to apply the tackle. Burton does well to get the hand pass out the box, and they're going to chop him up and eat him for dinner.
Did chop him up.
Kane Johnson, still an unheralded player, very, very talented man, and a dual premiership player, but he tried to back and go through traffic there, and one of them was Nathan Burke and Stephen Zilla. They wrapped him up.
Burton having a spell. Whittle is on the ground for the Crows. Got to be a free kick for holding. Nigel Bassett made sure the umpire could finally see it, and he's got it on centre wing. 13-point margin the way of St Kilda. Bassett chips it short to McLeod. He's just in the attacking zone. Pops it over the top to the young man who's just come onto the ground, Darryl Whittle from North Adelaide, turned 23 just last weekend. We say good luck to him. As he goes into the pocket, Robran was the target. Waitland comes over the top. Back towards the defensive 50 it goes. Thompson to try and Needies. He's wide at a centre wing. Pushed towards the line. McLeod, still McLeod, but a whistle has sounded. And it'll be a free kick. Going the way of St Kilda. With 8 minutes remaining, Aussie Jones has it. Needs something to lift his confidence, Oz. Towards Packett. Good kick, should have held the mark. He goes again, now he's got to apply the tackle. Stolen by Downsborough. From a standing start, he pumps it high to half-forward. Costa! No one on the mark, so it's going home. He's got Nigel Smart in the square. Young approaches him, he doesn't give away the free kick. McLeod should kick a goal. And he does. Just let the little master come in and tidy up.
Well, he just swoops into that forward line like he's like a plane diving in from the sun. And he's just so quick, Andrew McLeod. You've got Brad Johnson saying that he's the quickest player that he's ever played on. He just penetrates that forward 50 as if he knows exactly where that football's going to be. And like most great players, Doug, he generally is proved correct.
Yeah, certainly no doubt about that one, George. Good football.
Andrew McLeod's first goal has got the hometown fans finding voice. Back to a 7-point margin in favour of the Saints. An important time in this game. Elliott wins it, but McLeod tries to take it out of the middle. Held it for a long time before getting it up towards Eccles, then Whittle. He goes even wider. Was meant for Bassett. May eventually finish with him. It does. Out the centre wing, he finds Eccles. Andrew Eccles looks up towards the right half forward. Oh! Johnson's given away a free kick. The advantage is paid. Young comes in towards the centre. Traianides needs support. Nathan Burke is there. Breaks the tackle. Almost a misunderstanding between Zilla and Traianides. It could come unstuck. Jarman's trying to get into the game. Zilla's trying to get the ball. He does to Burke. Off he goes to Francis. Sheparding sees him clear. Thought about Hutchton. Now ignores him. Goes down towards the 50. No mark taken. Stevens defends. So too does Bassett. It's over the line.
And the Crows defence really has been reorganised with Smart going to the forward line. We know that Pittman's gone on to low, but Joe McLaren is now on Ben Hart, and Stevens has moved on to Barry Hall, and Bassett, who was initially on Heatley, is now picking up the smaller Mitchell.
Elliott like an athlete, and he is. Mitchell to Brown, to Jones. Brown's just come back out onto the ground. Jones' kick is high, into full forward. Hall gets a hand to it, but that is all.
Just looks like now Robert Harvey's having a bit of a breather now. He's gone into the forward line for the St Kilda side, and Kim Costa has kept it. His shadow's gone with him.
Hart to Bassett. It's the hand pass back towards Tyson Edwards. Look out, Tyson, you're in trouble. Bassett tries to tidy up, but good pressure. Johnson, can he keep it in play? He can, towards Windle, back to Johnson. Now he's away. Kane Johnson looks towards half-forward. Here comes Robert. Swings around like the Titanic, but he doesn't sink. He kicks to Nigel Smart. Couldn't take it. Off hands to Costa. Costa gives it away to Eccles. Eccles wins it through. Goal.
Great hands there by Kim Costa. Could have kicked the goal square, but he saw Eccles there. But gee, that was intelligent football from the youngster Eccles. I mean, he could have had a shot and tried to kick the ball nice and high, but just dribble the ball along the ground. That was good football. The ball could have sat up there, and the Adelaide playing the screen there could have certainly grabbed the ball, which was Pittman. Let the ball go. Good football by the Crows.
They went direct. Rashudo went wide, but he went straight down to Smart.
I bet you Sunday night hasn't rocked like this for a while. 2-point ball game. This is what we want. Elliott couldn't take it. Johnson out of the centre. They're starting to win the ball out of the middle, but it's not gone yet. Francis gets the hand pass away towards Zilla. He drifts it up towards half-forward. Edwards, that's a good spoil. He goes again. Tyson Edwards. Spinning it round, knew that he had very little room. Francis lost it. then paddles it through his legs, over the line, throw it in, sets the umpire, and will go down to curls.
Yes, Sandy, that last bit of play is what Tim Watson's trying to prevent. The two players for the Crows, Jarman and Rashudo, are having real trouble trying to get into this game.
Still on centre wing. Francis couldn't take it. Zilla, Downsborough over the top.
Just shows you how much pressure by both these sides at the moment on this ground. I mean, perfect night for football here at Footy Park in front of 40,000. I reckon probably have a 12-goal game. This should probably kick 15 to 20 goals in conditions like this.
The centre bounce clearances really have reflected the scoreboard. In the first quarter was 1-4 in favour of St Kilda. In the second quarter, 4-1 in favour of the Crows.
Kane Johnson ping. Elliott to take it on centre wing. A very important 5 minutes now in this game. Stuart Lowe comes charging at it.
Adelaide looked like he had control.
Tyson Edwards is wide.
I think it's been a key matchup. Pittman on Stuart Lowe, great smother there, but Pittman really has taken Lowe out of the game, although he has chipped in with a goal in this term.
The Ryan hand pass was okay. Young's mark was very good. He could chip to Aussie Jones, who takes the mark inside 50. Now Oz has a big kick here, not only for St Kilda, but for Aussie Jones.
No doubt saying it's to do his confidence world of good. And these are the goals he can kick.
Dibber.
Yeah, Nathan Burke has come off the ground. We'll just check on him, but he doesn't look too good at the moment.
Let's watch Aussie Jones kicking from 46 metres.
Through the middle.
Beautiful kick from Oz. It's straight through the middle. St Kilda replies.
Well, I saw him kick a goal in a state game from an even tighter angle than that in that very pocket. So he probably had a bit of a deja vu there and a little bit of confidence from that kick. And great to see him getting some success, because he really has been down a little bit this season with an interrupted pre-season, and also struggled a bit last year right throughout the season. One of the most exciting players, Doug, that the competition
No
has.
doubt, Jared. And Matthew Young's been very good for the Saints. He's given him plenty of run out of this back line. And once again, then he's come forward and set that goal up. So good play by Young.
An 8-point ball game once again in favour of St Kilda. Tim Elliott has rucked tirelessly. Rashudo has it held up by his opposing number 32.
See the frustration of Mark Rashudo starting to emerge, and he's really going to pump up for this last couple of minutes.
Beware. Rashudo from the middle, as you said in our opening. Eccles. Looks down to his congested forward line. Waitland comes over the top, unable to take the mark. Kim Costa, a step by Costa, finds the woodwork.
Heatley back onto the ground. Dipper.
Yeah, I've just checked up with the doctors. Nathan Burke got his head knocked in the first quarter. Got a bit of a headache at the moment. I think they'll keep him off until half-time, and maybe we'll see him back on the third quarter, boys.
I reckon Darren Jarman gave him a grip and shoulder there a little bit earlier, probably 5 minutes ago, when he came down the ground. That could have something to do with that one, I think.
Also, I noticed Barry Hall is off and Heatley back on for the closing minutes of this term. Harvey trying to find a target. Peckett on all fours. Sensational tackle. Harvey goes as only Harvey can. Very effective finding Mitchell. Almost down to half forward. Can go short to Zilla. And he does. Stephen Zilla can go on with it. He's got a lead coming into the pocket now. The kick's got to be good. And it is for Aussie Jones. Was he this tight in that state game, Jared?
I reckon we're getting close to it.
We're getting close. Let's see what he can do. 45 metres out.
Kick the goal, son.
Kicking from probably 48.
It's home.
It's a mighty kick again. It is not quite home. Is it one behind? Yes.
And Curls, I think it's that pocket that's notorious here at Football Park for being one of the toughest spots to ever kick a goal.
Yeah, it's very difficult from that area. The wind, well, the breeze always against you a little bit. Just seems to be just a narrower goals post.
Only when the opposition are kicking to that end, Curls.
Look out, here comes Costa. Support from behind, and that's okay. Kick had to be good, and it was from the big man. Off he goes, Gallagher into half forward, a beauty to Robert, back to Gallagher. Gallagher looks down deeper into the forward zone. The lead is on, but Smart is caught behind. Gave a little bit of a nudge. Hudson comes charging at him. Smart gets the hand pass away. Going to be okay for Eccles. Another wider one to Johnson. Johnson off to Robert. Robert a snap. It's horrendous.
May have been a bad result, but danger sign here for St Kilda because Matthew Robert is starting to warm into this game. He's got a couple of important possessions. Sure, that one didn't go through the goals, but he is pivotal to their forward line. If he fires, the Saints will be in big trouble.
Yeah, you're right. He's just starting to creep into it. A couple of minutes left.
Sandy, good play by young Gallagher on that occasion. He's balanced. I mean, he found 2 targets, got the ball back. That was good football by him.
8 points the margin. Tony Brown on the outer side. Chips it wide to Wakeland. It's going to test him. Shane keeps it in play. Then kicks up towards half forward. Over James, but he recovers well. Finding Bassett. Into the middle. Look out, Mark Beckley. He's got to beat a couple here. Stephen Zilla is one of them. Gets through to Harvey. Harvey gives it away quickly. Wakeland pops it long again towards Lowe and co. Neither can take it. James perhaps first to it as Lowe gives chase. He's taken out of it. James does well. An underground hand pass is going to be quite okay. Stevens comes away, hugging the boundary on the outer side at Football Park. Looks up towards the right half forward flank area. Desperate couple of minutes here. And a tackle that could have been construed as high. Even cries of in the back. But the boys will pick themselves up.
I think a plaudit should also go to Kane Johnson, who started in the forward line. Then he went on to Andrew Thompson, who had a great start to the Saints. He really has blanketed him.
Winkle gets it out to McLeod. He comes inboard to Johnson. Almost leg. Costa couldn't take it effectively. Harvey chipping over the middle once again. Look out, because here comes Stuart Lowe. He flicked it forward. I don't know whether that was intentional. It may work out okay. Mitchell's on the end of it. Now Tony Brown. Can they finish it off with Trianides? He can go all the way. Jason Trianides. 40 metres out. Shoots towards goal for St Kilda and puts through behind. Another opportunity going begging. Trianides into the open goal.
Tough ones to kick though, Doug, aren't they? After a run of about 40 metres. Plenty of pressure on.
I think so, Jared. Is he left foot or right footed, Jared? He can go both ways, I know that. But I thought if he's a left foot, he had plenty of time to go to his natural foot.
I was a little bit confused about that.
I'm not sure if he is a left or right footer.
We'll ponder that.
We're still trying to work out whether Leon Cameron is a left or right footer.
Tyson Edwards out wide to McLeod. Now they're teeing off for him. He comes in towards Kane Johnson in the middle, but he's beaten by the siren. Let's go a mighty talk, but all too late. A big first half here at Football Park. A tight encounter. Aussie Jones kicked a goal in that quarter for St Kilda. Tyson Edwards kicked one for Adelaide. Andrew McLeod kicked one for Adelaide. And Stuart Lowe one for the Saints. But it's a low-scoring affair and still anyone's game, Jared.
No football that St Kilda team have had. They should be further ahead, Dip.
Absolutely, and no sign Nathan Burke at the moment. He's still in the rooms and looks like he's in a bit of trouble, Kills.
Gallagher has the ball held. We're still pretty much in the middle. Starting the second half. St Kilda going with a 9-point break. Down the throat of James it goes. He spears it into the half-forward line. Jarman has opened his account with his first touch for the night. A fine mark in front of the eyes.
This is when he becomes very, very dangerous, Darren Jarman. He's been down, as you say, in his first touch. This is the sort of stage that Darren Jarman loves.
Game number 178 now for the Crow veteran. A champion at Hawthorn, kicking from 40 metres. Lovely kick, straight over the goal umpire's head. Great start for Jarman and the Crows in the second half.
And if there was a worrying sign for St Kilda at half-time, it was that their lead was just 9 points. And Darren Jarman hadn't touched the football. Andrew McLeod hadn't been the dominating player. Mark Picciuto also down. But, well, when you get on the end of a brilliant pass like that from Brett James, it's very rarely that Darren Jarman doesn't convert.
5-8 plays 5-5. The Saints by 3 points. Elliott still charges at it, but he's beaten in the middle. They're going to take it out of the centre again, courtesy of Kane Johnson. Here comes Nigel Smart. Got a hand to it, but now he's got to back up again. Young heads for the boundary line. Straight over. We'll have a throw in.
And since quarter time, the Crows have dominated those centre bounce takeaways. And if they come out that easily, Doug, it just puts so much pressure on your back line. It's, well, you're almost reliant upon a mistake by the forward, as we saw Nigel Smart drop that mark to get away without a goal.
No doubt, Jared. It just looks like here now, looks like Mark Rashudo's playing full back, picking up Aussie Jones. So Rashudo out of the play in the back line.
Last man up is Robert Harvey. Crows have it in their attacking zone. A chance. Wakeland tries to defend, pushing down towards Young. And the whistle has sounded. It's a St Kilda free kick going the way of Wakeland. Darryl Wakeland kicked a goal in the first quarter. Gives it back to Young. Comes to the wide open spaces. No one at home. And it bounces ever so slowly over the line.
Doug, I reckon that'll be a first, Mark Rashudo to fullback.
I reckon you might be right there, Jared. I'm very surprised to see that. Just compliments the great job that young Damien Ryan's done on Mark Rashudo to see him forced back to full back. Trianides pushes down to accommodate Francis, who soccers off the ground down towards the half-forward line. Bassett comes charging out, pumps it high up towards half-forward. Robin takes the mark. He's got Eccles streaming past. He's got players breaking for him. One is Pittman. 65 out. Lets one go. Well, he goes round the man on the mark. That was Stuart Lowe. Pittman gets home. The Crows have hit the front. Pittman gets his first. Adelaide lead by 3 points.
Is that Darren Jarman? Is that Darren Jarman doing that?
Someone told him you're 6'5", you don't do that, son. Leave it to the ruck rover. That was brilliant football by David Pittman. He certainly is playing on a bit of a high. At this stage of this game so far now in the third term, Adelaide's gone to another level. They lifted the cock up, so it's going to be a great game of footy here.
Big goal to David Pittman. Dougie's still scratching his head. Adelaide by 3 points. Tony Brown out of the middle. Takes it up towards Lowe. He got one hand to it, but that was all. Mitchell, can St Kilda reply? Lowe around the body towards Barry Hall. He too got a hand to it. Stephen Ziller off hands, but he's away to the left and one behind.
Once again, the Saints just wasting an opportunity. There's a great battle going on in the wing between Andrew Eccles and Jason Trianides. Eccles is such a skillful player that he needs guarding. It looks like Tim Watson has said to Trianides, just match him in creativity.
Rashudo finds Bassett.
I just wonder if Stuart Lowe will go deep into the back line now once again and take Pittman down there.
He finds Hart. Here comes Robin again. Tyson over the top. This is dangerous. This is very dangerous. Eccles is on the end of it. Pittman.
He's taking him down.
David Pittman is standing up in this third quarter.
Stewie Lowe's in the middle of the ground here, Jared.
Yep.
He's 40, 50 metres. Mate, you've got to follow your man down. I don't care where you're playing, 10 half forward, half forward flank. You must follow your man down. Gee whiz.
Well, I think the bloke on the mark will have his feet firmly planted on the ground.
I agree with you.
Just in case the big fellow tries the same trick again.
David Pittman for his second in as many minutes. Adelaide lead by 2 points. And now lead by 3.
Stewie Lowe just breathing a sigh of relief in the middle of the ground.
He needs to be on the run, Pittman, dodging round players. 3-point margin then. Kick back into the centre. Oh, Robin, a big fly from the side. Gee, he is certainly lifting and the Crows are lifting with him. What sort of a bomb will he let go here?
Great to see the big talk.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. He smacked back in the middle of football park. No.
Brilliant play.
A little worm burner that's a beauty to Tyson Edwards. Still 55 at least out when he takes the kick.
He's got McLeod loose.
McLeod in the end wasn't the target. Mitchell's hand pass goes astray. Smart's given away a free kick. Straight into the back of Robert Harvey. St Kilda down by 3. An interesting juggle by Stephen Ziller. On half-back. He finds Tony Brown, who in turn chips to Wakeland, who wants Elliott. Has it fisted away. James turning and weaving, dodging. Tyson, if it sits, he's in business. Tyson on the left foot snap. It's long! It's straight and it's a goal! Goes on a roll! James Tyson, in just his 34th game, has kicked a beauty. And this is the biggest lead the Crows have had all night.
Yeah, good football there by James Tyson. On the other hand, if he missed that goal, Andrew McLeod would be absolutely snaky. Could do certainly on his own. Probably 30 metres clear of any opponent from St Kilda. And a matter of fact, he should have got the ball a bit early from another teammate when he was clear. But still, kick the goal. That's just to do your job. Well done.
Ominous signs now as the Crows hit back. They lead by 9 points. Elliott jumps in the middle, but they've got to win it out. Francis is away. He gets claimed. Trinity's got a hand to it. There'll be another ball up.
And the last 2 shots at goal for the Crows have come because the St Kilda players who are in the forward line and pushing down to crowd up their defensive area have broken free and run forward of the ball before St Kilda have actually won it. The rebound ball has come back to Crows players that are free.
Elliott to Harvey, who was dumped. Costa a 360. Now they're winning it out of the middle. Kicks to half forward. Oh, the mark from behind goes Jarman. The Rolls Royce has started the engine.
Well, there you are, Sandy and Jared. The first multiple goal kicker in the game. He had to touch up to half-time. Here he is. The genius, as Sandy called him. He is a genius. He's kicked 2 goals in his 3rd term. Brilliant football by him.
And you know, Dougie, that he's just as likely to kick another 3 in this quarter.
Well, he certainly can. He can certainly turn it on. That's the sort of stage this bloke likes. When he's sort of down and he's struggling, just brilliant body work there. Pushed his opponent under the ball, young Max Hutchkin on that occasion. Great goal there by Darren Jarman. He's a freak.
Blighty must have given him some colostrum at half-time. Really pumped him up.
15 points the margin. Elliott again stands over it. The kick is high and wide and not very handsome.
Good play, Doug, on the wing. Andrew Eccles. That should have been a free.
Great attempt to mark, and then possibly should have got a free, as you said. Peckett to McLaren. Eccles has him, but he gets it off to Tony Brown. St Kilda need a reply. To Stuart Lowe, picks it up on the half volley, puts Harvey under the pump. He got one. Barry Hall needs to do something. Chipped short, another half volley pick up by McLaren. Snaps towards goal. It's pretty good for St Kilda, and they get one back.
And that time the Saints won the footy and then moved forward with numbers. And if they don't win the football first and they have their forward line players running forward, they are going to be caught out on the rebound. But this one, it looked as if they were going to overpossess the football, but in the end they came up with a pretty good pick-up on the half volley by McLaren after a chip kick from Barry Hall and a goal, and certainly a goal that they desperately required.
A bit stiff Eccles too there, Gerald. I think you caught that. He certainly put his body on the line and should have been a free kick there.
Watching that Tony Brown bounce reminded me of Tony Shaw in his heyday bouncing down the ground. Oh, golly. Back in the middle. Trinity's ripped to the ground by Costa. And the ball up.
You just think now with Nathan Burke off the ground, this is where Robert Harvey certainly has to lift his game. He's had probably 15 sessions. Costa's done a pretty good job on him.
Tim Elliott's plan appears to be just to jump early and let the ball come to ground and let it be battled and fought for on the grass.
Here's Eccles. He's done very well up towards half forward once again. Johnson's got a hand to it, but that was all. It's pushed towards the line. Smart gives chase. He's under pressure, but so too is Wakeland. Wakeland does shovel it out. Maybe Kane Johnson can manufacture something with a mighty hand pass to Robrin. Yes!
Well, Kane Johnson's goal, without question, he has done a marvellous job since quarter time. Moved on to Andrew Thompson, taking him out of the game as a midfielder. Tim Watson has responded by putting Andrew Thompson into defence, and then with Johnson going with him, he creates a goal. And here it is.
Good hands there, Gerard, over the top there. Good vision.
Can they be stopped?
Well done, Kane Johnson, as Robran kicks his first. Back in the middle. Downsborough couldn't win it out. Goes again. The Thompson hand pass to Tony Brown. Gives another one away. Harvey chips towards Trianides. Had it, then lost it. Time to regain and go back to Harvey. Short little chip comes unstuck because Hart dashes through the middle. They can set something up again to half forward, and Robran thinks about the hand pass. Now he wheels around. Goes long to Smart. Couldn't quite take it. And it'll be a throw in. Needed the mark there.
Yeah, I thought Smart could have made a bit of effort on that occasion there. He certainly got himself out in front there and well clear. I thought the kick was pretty reasonable. Maybe could have got the ball on his chest.
Right forward pocket. The Crows in attack. Wakeland with one hand. And a ball up. The end result. Both sides looking for their second win. The Bulldogs coming over here in round one and upsetting the Premier's opening day plans. St Kilda going to Brisbane. Both regrouped in round two.
Just now you see down here you got Ian Downsborough playing that kick behind the play. When the ball goes inside 50, looks like Matthew Robin does all the ruck work, so they got a loose man, a kick behind the play the Crows have.
Robin and Elliott. Harvey could have gone high there.
I think he ducked into that one, Sandy. Certainly got him over the neck, but he bent at the knees and dropped his head.
Which would not have made for a pretty sight.
Indeed.
Another ball up. 11 minutes remaining in the third quarter. St Kilda down by 15 points. Robran, Elliott set to do battle. Wakeland over the top. Bickley a chance, couldn't take it. Neither could Harvey. Somehow picks himself up as only he can. Elliott gets boot to ball, gains probably 5 or 6 metres. That's not enough. Rashudo, the big Roo, pops a big kick towards Jarman. Jarman again.
3 for 3. 3 kicks, 3 goals. 3 touches, 3 kicks, 3 goals.
Oh, Jared, he's just a genius down there, and you know, I was trying to get him into the game and have that 5 minutes up in the midfield. A bloke like him, you only give him 5 or 10 minutes, you can just rip a game apart.
And I'll tell you what, Doug, Mark Rashudo said, I've had enough of this. Blow being stuck down at full back. I need a touch of the footy, and I'm going to go and get one.
He's coming down and he wants to go up in the midfield, but he's still going to play an half-back flank now.
Darren Jarman, 3 touches for the match, all in this quarter, 3 goals.
Jones down onto the wing onto Eccles, Trianides out to the half-forward flank. He's been picked up by the Roo.
James got a touch in the middle. Curls.
Yeah, what the viewers can't see, that watching particularly in Melbourne, is St Kilda at this stage, in the first quarter they were breaking, they were looking for openings. Right at this stage they're worried about where their Crows people are, and they're not breaking like they were early.
Free kick goes down towards half forward. Hart drops it. Here's an excellent chance for St Kilda. They're squabbling over it. Should come to Barry Hall, and he will tap it through for a much needed goal. Good teamwork there by the Saints.
I think also, Neil, that the pressure in the midfield from the Crows has restricted St Kilda from getting the ball into their forward line quickly.
Yeah, I think particularly, Jared, look at Kane Johnson's lifted his game. He's been very, very good in that area. Costas did a pretty good job on Harvey so far. James in the middle as well, and in the ruck, Downsborough now has done a pretty reasonable job taking over from Pittman.
Hall has kicked the goal and he's immediately off. Burke is back on, so maybe that headache isn't too bad, Dipper, which is good news. St Kilda reply, 66 to 51. Elliott again, a big leap at that ball. Out of the middle, it finishes with James. Good work by Bickley. Down towards half forward once more. Jarman couldn't take it. The pressure on this St Kilda defence is quite intense now. Young can't control it. It's over the line.
Well, it was a top-class tackle there from Max Hudson.
That would hurt. It's called a handprint. Eccles takes the hand pass, has a hurried one, but goes straight into the chest of Elliott. At least I hope it was the chest. Harvey running for Aussie Jones is good. He chips up towards left half forward. They almost collide. McLaren and Ben Walton, who's on the ground. The ball finishes over the line.
The Adelaide Crows pressure through the midfield has pushed the St Kilda attacks very wide. They haven't been able to divert their attack back through the middle of the ground, which was the route to some goal scoring for them in the first quarter.
Here's Costa again, picking up the crumbs for the Crows. Down towards centre wing. And over it goes. Matty Young getting a touch.
Just looking at Robert at the moment, he's certainly having a big impact in this game. I just wonder if Darryl Wakelin can maybe be changed. Maybe even the brother Shane to come up and have a crack at him.
On centre wing, we've got 9 minutes in the quarter remaining. Advantage is going to be paid to Aussie Jones. Away he sprints with one bounce. Looks down towards the forward line. They need a mark. They need a couple of goals to come back in. Ben Walton was the target, but Bassett made sure that he wasn't getting a sniff of it.
What, hounded, was he?
Correct. All the way to the kennel. Throw in again. Low, but at the back was Brown. Off he goes to Thompson. It's a high kick into the forward line. Difficult one to mark. Joe McLaren was there. And so too was Ben Hart. One behind. There's Andrew Thompson. And Nigel Bassett. Thinks about going short. This could be dangerous. He had to be spot on, and in the end he was. Finding Ian Downsborough right on the line. Johnson offers it short, so too does Rashudo. Pittman's on centre wing with Elliott. And that's the way he heads. The two big men lock arms. That came off Pittman's head. He's got a free kick. Trying to creep a little, incurring the wrath of the Crow fans in front of the members. He goes towards Rodman. Johnson's quick here, watch out. Kane Johnson, 52 metres out, stands back and goes bang towards Nigel Smart. Wakelin cuts across in front of him. Shane Wakelin defends to the line.
Ben Hart coming off the ground, and he's going to be replaced by Brett Burt.
Yeah, the bad news for Crow support. Looks like he's pulled a hamstring here. Benny Hart, of course.
That is bad news because he's been in superb early form this season.
That's his opponent out in the wing on his own.
Joe McLaren skips away and kicks towards Ben Walton. Bassett leads in the race and will be quite happy to see it over the line.
Big task for Ben Walton. The way that the Saints are playing, pushing all their players up the ground, he's left one out in that forward area. He's up against a pretty handy player in Bassett.
Big weekend of football you're seeing on 7. Hope you're enjoying Sunday night's action. And round 3.
Sure.
Harvey, Costa ripped off the ball, and there'll be another bounce. Umpires are Peter Carey. He's in the veteran class. He was the 92 All-Australian umpire. Creeping into the 40s now. Stuart Wen and Vince Cerchia, who made his debut just a couple of years ago. Low. Looking for Burke. The head was ducked, but it was too high. Another great crowd here tonight. 41,716 are witnessing Robran sneaking into some form.
They're just providing him with so much space at the moment, and the delivery to Matthew Robran has been spot on.
I think he's been watching David Pittman. The kick was a beauty. Finds James.
I just wonder if Matty Young was his opponent on that occasion. He could have about 15, 20 metres away from him. Too much room there. Jeez.
May well have been second guessing the big long talk by Robran to the top of the square.
Brett James trying to become the 9th goal kicker for the Crows tonight, but he's off target, away to the left.
Where do they get the spark from, Doug? The Saints
Stewie Lowe's a man. Gerard was about to say that, matter of fact. He took words out of my mouth. I think Stewie's got to lift his work rate. His first half was reasonable. He's had 7 kicks and 7 marks. He's the man up in their forward line that needed to grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
Shane Wakeman, a big kick out. There is Stuart Lowe. 1, 2 grabs. It's his. He's away, but St Kilda. Bassett leads Walton in the race. Walton persists. He's hanging on, and you can't do that. Bassett takes the free and plays on quickly.
It'll be time for Jason Heatley to come back on the ground.
5.5 minutes left in this term. It's been a term that has gone the way of the Adelaide Crows at the moment. Stuart Lowe, free kick on half back. Chips short to centre wing. Finds Stephen Ziller. Trianides is off the ground for St Kilda. Coming on is Stephen Baker. Just his second game. Good luck to him. Bassett over the line. Costa sees it safely there, and we've got a throw in.
I think you're spot on there, Gerard, with Heatley. If you're going to have him in your side and get him on the ground, okay, he may have struggled a little bit early, but he is a player, a bit like Jarman's got that ability in 5 or 10 minute spurt and kick you 3 or 4 quick goals, so he could be the right option.
Must have been a bit of a risk playing him though today, Doug, because he did get that big gash on the head last week and came off the ground. Maybe he's just suffering a little bit from concussion.
Ziller to Harvey to Brown. St Kilda have it in the middle. Now Stephen Ziller follows it down. 55 out. They need a team lifting goal or a big mark. And Mitchell has taken it 25 metres out directly in front. Kicked a goal in the first quarter, Gavin Mitchell.
Looks like you're spot on here, Gerard. Jason Heatley is warming up on the boundary, so he may come on.
Mitchell for his second at this end of the ground. At the moment, the margin is 15 points in favour of Adelaide. Back to 9, and it's still manageable for the Saints. He makes no mistake.
Gavin Mitchell, what a player he's been for St Kilda. He's had his ups and downs, but when he's on song, he's a super damaging player. A couple of changes here for both sides. Nigel Smart coming off, and it is Benke getting his first run for the evening. And Heatley is onto the ground for Ben Walton.
Kick 2, Mitchell. Been pretty good.
Two goals to Gavin Mitchell. Benke on for the Crows for his first run. And 4.5 minutes left in the quarter. From the centre, the Crows win it out of the middle.
Too easy.
They rip it through Wingle down towards the forward lane. They need someone going past. Oh, Tyson was there, but he couldn't pick it up. And it's pushed defensively to the line for a throw-in.
Yeah, Heatley's a full forward, Gerard, and looks like Nathan Bassett's got the job on him.
Dipper.
Kilda have done terrific, Sandy's getting themselves back in this game, and if guys like Gavin Mitchell and some of the boys like Tony Brown can get their ball skills going, I think they can get back in this game.
Aussie Jones gave that a little throw.
Trying to give it a big one.
Trying to be kind. And the skipper, Mark Bickley.
Fair purchase on Aussie there, did the skipper.
Fair comment, Gerard. Mark Bickley then for the quick answering goal. Going into the square, big pack of players, and Tim Elliott is there to take the safe mark.
Just looking at Stephen Baker playing only his second game. He's been picked up by Mark Rashuda. What's going through the kid's mind at this stage?
He'll be saying, thanks, coach. Mitchell flicks it out wide to Brown. Tony Brown chips towards centre wing and Aussie Jones. Another one to Mitchell. They continue to chip it around. Now he goes longer. This is dangerous for Elliott. Very dangerous, because look who's intercepted. The master McLeod to Kane Johnson. Too easy, and Johnson will have a shot 35 metres out.
And that's the danger area for the Crows. Malcolm Blight often has a go-to area in his forward line. And you knew there that Johnson knew the ball was going to be kicked into that position. We saw Robran go to that spot only a couple of seconds ago. And Eccles just, in fact, it was McLeod just bombed it into that area. Johnson on the end of it.
From 40 metres, Kane Johnson. Stunned silence greets a behind.
It's always open, that spot here at Football Park. And Malcolm Blight, who has played in the midfield, obviously, as a ruck rover, knows that you need somewhere to go when you're under pressure.
Shouldn't miss goals from out there, 35, 40 metres.
Low at the back of the pack. He was 4 deep. Jones, clever hand pass, got the call from Robert Harvey. That was clever. Up towards left half for the diving Joe McLaren, couldn't take the mark. And Burton ambles away. He's a cool customer. Looks towards Andrew Eccles. Bickley is there to assist him, and he does it well. Then gets the hand pass clear. Tyson tried to take them all on. Matthew Young comes through, gets it across to Justin Peckett. Chips it high towards centre wing. It's wide, and Burton lunges at the line. Didn't really matter in the end because it went out on the full, and he'll bring it back.
Doug, some positive signs here for Aussie Jones.
Certainly, Jared, the last probably 2 or 3 minutes, got a couple of important touches for him. And we saw him early in the second quarter kick 2 goals. So, I mean, yeah, very good. Promising signs for him.
The Crows by 10 points. Burton heads towards the 50. Waiting down is Thompson for St Kilda. Andrew Thompson puts it towards centre wing. James got a touch to it. Pittman will do the roving at the back. Mitchell's got him covered. Pittman does well to flick it out, and he got a shove, says the umpire at the same time.
Yes, it's against Mitchell, and it's going to the big fellow Pittman. But that's the sort of tackling I was talking about earlier with Gavin Mitchell. He is tenacious in his defensive skills.
Bassett takes it on the outer side. Robran in front of the eyes, 70 metres from home. I'd love to see him let go a talk. A huge monster.
He heard you.
And away we go. Into the square. Burton, the athletic flyer. And there should be a ball up right in the square.
He's kicked it about 70 metres here, Robin, that big torpedo. And just his ability to get over the ground so quick for a big man, he just seems so fast. He found probably 10 metres on Darryl Wakeland on that occasion, just too quick.
10 points still the margin. Elliott over the top. Thompson defends. That's a penetrating kick towards half-back. Peckett had to get through, and he did. But look out, because the room is there. Oh, he's gone! He's gone!
Once again, St Kilda being caught out by having so many men forward of the ball. Justin Peckett looked up, nowhere to go to, but you can't break tackles in footy at the moment.
Robran again. This time a little closer.
Give him the call, Sam.
I think he's starting to tease the crowd. Let one go. And see what you can do.
It's going to be a drop punt this time.
Keep your eye out for Burton.
He's going again. Doesn't get onto it. In towards a full forward. Elliott at the back of the pack. Comes away for the Saints, going to the outer side. Eccles uses the body on Jones. That'll be interesting to see what happens. Robran somehow got boot to ball. That was clever. Down towards Costa, who's running out of room. And they're running out of time as Matthew Young handballs towards the line. It's three-quarter time. Big quarter by the Adelaide Crows. They've come right back into this game. And St Kilda now, in the final quarter, find themselves playing catch-up footy. If they're going to come to Adelaide, steal 4 premiership points and sneak back across the border. Can they do it?
Well, if they are, they're going to have to find a multiple goal kicker. And Jason Heatley hasn't really been on song today. And since Pittman has gone on to Stuart Lowe, he really has nullified him. But you'd imagine that they're the 2 players that would need to get a couple of shots in front of goal. And perhaps keep a couple of gentlemen on screen relatively quiet for the next 30 minutes.
The Rolls Royce is cruising at the moment. 3 in that term. Adelaide 10-8. St Kilda 8-10 as we take a break.
Going to be there.
He certainly is. This is going to be a big final quarter at Football Park. The home side, the defending champions by 10 points. First goal vital. First whip out of the middle, just as important. Goes the way of the Crows, down towards half forward, and a good mark taken here by Brian Benke.
Saints would be disappointed. Elliott, a great leap, got his hand on the ball first, but just missed the target.
Benke taking plenty of time. Now goes long, up towards half forward, up towards Rugran, and he's outpointed Barry Hall to take the grab. 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Terrific mark on this occasion here by Robin. I mean, he's been the guy, certainly, as Jared did say, the midfield has got on top of the St Kilda side, but he's given plenty down there at centre half forward, either marking out in front or marking like that out in front of himself there. Strong mark.
You can see him working into some form midway through that second quarter. The hustle and bustle is fine, but if he jails this one,
which he does, great start for the Crows in the final quarter.
Really good big Barry back in the box, and now up to Barry Hall to get a couple of important possessions to make amends.
Certainly does, Jared. Now he's kicked 2 goals, Robin. As I did say a minute ago, he's been the guy certainly down there forward line, gave him something to kick to. Where on the other hand, you look at the St Kilda forward line, you see Stuart Lowe's been forced to certainly come up the ground and to give him something out the centre. Absolutely getting flogged here, no doubt, the Saints. As you said before, they've got a lift there. Young Thompson, Francis, Berg. I'd probably start Robert Harvey in the centre bounce and maybe take Tony Francis out.
Well, Burke's in there now. Let's see what happens in the middle. It's a bounce that favours Downsborough, but he pushes it down the throat of Burke. Chips a kick up towards Lowe at half forward. Appeared to get a shove. Elliott comes over the top, but his hand pass goes straight to Eccles. He pokes it out wide. They give chase. James leads in the race. Francis has got his hammer. Good work by McLeod, though, to do a bit of shepherding work. Then he got a bad bounce. Francis is at the bottom of the pack.
Well, he's a little bit lucky there, I think, Tony Francis, because he dived all over that one.
Girls.
He was suspended.
Yes, Sandy, last week the two poorest players for the Crows were Robran and Eccles. Tonight they're both starring. 2
of the best, aren't they? Yep. Thompson holds it for a considerable time. So too Costa, but there's no way he can get away from Aussie Jones.
Just reckon Barry Hall's got to be a little bit careful here at the minute. He's certainly giving Robin a bit of a push around. The umpire's right under him. Just be very careful, Hawley.
On centre wing. May come down there shortly, but not if Aussie Jones has anything to say with it. He gives it to Burke. Goes towards the other end of the ground, towards Stuart Lowe territory. Maybe only momentarily. Here's McLeod. Cruises back in towards the centre. Good performance by Wintle. Down towards half forward. Benke almost did it with the one hand and almost did it very well. The Tyson hand pass is going to be okay. In towards full forward. Benke is there. There's a couple of them there. It should be a goal. Rugran, Benke, right on the line. He's kicked it.
Big call, that one from the umpire. Ball looked as if it would just trickle over the line, but we'll get a close-up on that one shortly. Aussie Jones coming off the ground, and he's going to be replaced by Ben Walton. But the Crows have just about sealed this game, and really now the Saints have to get the next couple to get back into it. Let's just see if this ball trickles over the line.
No, he's in. He's got the
correct weight, umpire.
Sausage roll, Jared. Sausage roll.
A big goal to Brian Benke. A big goal for Adelaide. 12-8 plays, 8-10. Tim Elliott. Tough ask now for Nathan Burke and his men. Trianides over the top to Mitchell. If it sits, he'll be in business. Just tries to flick it over the top because he had Tyson Edwards charging towards him. Tony Brown picks it up 55 out. Tries to sneak back onto the left. Now finds Mitchell. Mitchell needs to kick a goal. It's bending back, but not nearly enough, and one behind. Kicked 2 goals at the other end of the ground, Gavin Mitchell. They need him now to be on target. It was a goal. Jared, you're a little concerned.
It was a line ball, but I think correct weight was given by the umpire.
Great call. No problem at all. James on the outer side. front of the smaller scoreboard here at Football Park.
Good signs for the Crows. 9 goal scorers out of their 12 goals, so that's good for them.
Kicking a very important one into a slight breeze too. Up towards centre wing, to a congested centre wing. Ball was in the pack. It's socket off the ground. Peckett has it taken out of his hands. It's going to be a free kick. It'll come back. It's going the way of the Crows. Starting to roll for the Crows at the moment. Skipper Bickley just forward of centre wing. Towards Andrew Eccles. Got a hand to it. McLaren now pounces on him. Takes the hand pass. Back it comes to Peckett. Justin Peckett hugs the boundary line. Pittman could have given a shove. Now the big man's got to get his skates on as he goes towards the line and then soccers it over. There will be a throw in on the outer wing. Crowd of 41,716. I don't think one has moved at the moment. An enthralling struggle. It's not over yet. Heatley's on the ground but couldn't do anything. Tony Francis, a snap at goal by Tony Francis. This is the one that St Kilda needs to stay in the game, and he's got it. Francis gets his first. The Saints hang on.
Important goal by St Kilda. They're a big man short at the present time with Darryl Wakeland going off the ground. We've seen in the first 3 weeks of Tim Watson's career as a coach that he likes to have 3 tools up on the forward line. Stuart Lowe struggling to really have a major impact at the moment with Pittman. Barry Hall now, who was pretty good in the first quarter down at centre half back. So they're going to have to almost invent their goals, Doug.
They certainly do, Jared, no doubt. There's a midfield really up to lift there. Harvey, you need sort of type of guy. Berkey's a little bit crook. He's got to lift his game as well.
Back to a 15-point margin. Wintle tries to take it out of the middle. He's ridden into the ground by Jockey Francis.
I suppose both coaches will be throwing up every option in their mind, but Trianides was pretty good on the wing early, but we've seen him kick some goals as a full forward, and maybe he's worth a try down in the goal square.
Elliott wins it. Burke disentangles himself from the bottom of the pack.
Saints 8 goal kickers out of their 9 goals, so plenty of share in the footy around their forward line.
Plenty of time left for them to get up if they're good enough here at Football Park. Elliott again gets his hands to it first. Costa, kick partly smothered, shoveled out. They'll go again.
Desperation.
Look at that. It's like making a salad sandwich, one on top of the other.
Like, I'm sure the Saints supporters wouldn't mind somebody getting selfish and kicking 3 or 4 in a row.
Smart is on the sidelines, set to come back on.
They need the next goal, Jared.
Elliott, Bickley, proppy hand pass, and Matthew Young is claimed by Costa, going nowhere. Crucial time now. Elliott wins it again. Here's an opportunity. Bickley in towards goal.
That's home.
That's a big goal. A big kick by the skipper. His first. But it could be a telling one. 13-8 plays 9-11.
He has been a top player for them all night.
He certainly has, Jared, no doubt about that. Pickley's their midfield, have been forced to play Mark Rashudo down in the back line. He's been soundly beaten there by young Damien Ryan for the Saints. Did a ripper job. So him out of the play, Bickley's one of the guys had to put his hand up. He's been terrific. So is McLeod in the midfield as well.
Individuals have kicked goals for the Adelaide Crows. A couple of multiples, Jarman and Robran. Out of the middle, it's Mitchell defending for St Kilda. Critical times now for the Saints. He goes towards Stuart Lowe, can't take a mark. Tyson Edwards just drifts across the back and gives it to McLeod. He comes wide towards Binky. Been pretty impressive since coming onto the ground. Waste no time this time. That's a great kick. Kim Costa just taken round on a slightly tighter angle, but he's going to be kicking from 43 metres, and this could well be a big nail in the St Kilda coffin.
Been terrific tonight, Kim Costa. Now 2 weeks in a row. Last week with Shane Crawford, the captain of Hawthorn, and tonight with Robert Harvey.
Here's the Costa kick. Going slightly right behind. '87 plays 65, 22 points. Thompson at half-back to Francis. Francis comes very, very wide. Too wide for Trianides. Frustration for the number 32.
Got to go more direct now. When you're behind like this, you've got to go straight down the middle of the ground, not going out wide like that.
The throw in again. Should Kilda need a couple of quick ones? Downsborough tries to win it down to Bickley. He's slung as he gets his kick. Wakeland towards Francis, who continues to work hard. Had very little room in which to work there and did it well. Trianides' kick was beautifully smothered. Well done. Smart steals it from the back door. He'll pump it high and long in towards full forward. They need a mark. Could be interference, but no. Play on is the call. James tries to bend one back, but not far enough. 3 behinds to Brett James for the evening. This was a great smother, Dougie.
Oh, great smother by Brett Burton. Excellent smother. I mean, caught the ball in mid-flight. Normally you take it off the boot. He caught it probably 5 or 10 metres off the boot. Good play by him.
Young, straight down the middle. Downsborough, the big fist down towards Tyson. Kicked it very smartly, perhaps a little too quickly. Got underneath it. Peck was there to take the mark. Goes wider to Young on the outer side. Look at that! I tell you what, he is a mover, this boy.
This kid can play a bit.
Burton on the outer side. Go back and let one go. Again, only a couple of steps.
50 metres. And a free kick against Darren Jarman, so it'll go back to where Burton had that free kick. Darren Jarman must have been
holding on
to Maxie Hutch.
Tony Brown to take it then on the half-back flank. Burton on the mark. Under 12 minutes remaining. 23 points is the margin. Elliott. Proppy hand pass. Thompson's kick down towards left half forward. They need a goal badly. Over the head of Walton it goes. Harvey and Francis both go for it. McLeod sneaks away, but there's been a whistle. St Kilda free kick. Is it going to the Brownlow medalist? Harvey plays on quickly. McLeod can't get there in time. And Stephen Ziller takes the mark.
Didn't want to see that free kick again to Robert Harvey. I thought it may have been a little bit lucky there. Kim Costa, the ball was in Robert Harvey's hands and he was dragged and then the ball came loose, but very lucky.
He must be in trouble because he's running from the ground, Rob Harvey.
It is again here. Oh, wasn't much in it.
Big kick for Stephen Ziller and St Kilda. This to keep them alive, and he's gone way across the face and has just snuck into behind. His third. So he hasn't been on target tonight and still yet to kick a goal. 88 plays 66. Here comes Bassett. Johnson sets himself. Elliott is at the back. He trapped it well, the big man, then held on to it for a long time. Downsborough kicked into the man on the mark. Burke could have given away a free kick. No, said the umpire.
He's hard at the ball, Kim Costa. Been great tonight.
Elliott again. Slaps it to accommodate Tony Brown. He needs to kick a goal. And he does for St Kilda. So maybe that can keep them alive.
Well, still plenty of time left in this match for the Saints to get up. Two or three quick ones, Doug. And, well, as you know, anything can happen in today's football. But that was an important one, I thought. He was perhaps a shade unlucky, Tony Brown, for not getting scragged.
Yeah, they certainly do, Joe, no doubt about that. Tim Elliot's been very good in the ruck in this quarter so far for him. Nathan Burke's getting a bit of the football, young Thompson as well. Tony Francis has been pretty reasonable this term as well for him.
Again, St Kilda cuts the margin. We're back to 16 points. Plenty of time. Shocking bounce. Costa out of the middle. Jared hangs his head. That's a gutsy mark by Nathan Burke, running with the flight of the ball. But that epitomises the St Kilda skipper. Short to Walton. Had it spent a fraction too early, but he's got time. Walton, penetrating kick up towards the 50. Tyson Edwards. Loses it to Mitchell. Mitchell will give it to Peckett. St Kilda are still alive. He goes over the top, and suddenly Stephen Zilla's got another one. Zilla breaks the ice because he had 3 behinds to that. And they're back, St Kilda.
They are back in the Sandy, no doubt about that. And that's that man, Gavin Mitchell, who's very, very good in the first half for the St Kilda side. We tick up in their forward line. He's kicked 2 goals. What a great stool here. Mark Richard on the handballs going in from Tyson Edwards. Over the top, 3 or 4 handballs. Good football by the Saints. They're right back in this.
Yes, just 10 points of difference. Let's hope, Neil, this bounce goes straight in the air.
Yes, I hope it does.
Say what you mean, Curls.
Sitting on the fence is
like no one else. But that was a perfect bounce out of the middle. It's Nigel Smart who takes the hand pass. He's got a chance to go long here, not so, and he does with a couple of bounces. Puts them well inside 50 with a flat-looking punt, but to whom and to where? Into the pocket. There's no one home at the moment. Young picks it up for Hodgson. Hodgson gives it away to Barry Hall, who bustles his way to the half-back line and kicks it towards Trianides. He goes over centre wing. Not a good kick. Tyson Edwards has been good tonight. Edwards is in trouble. Somehow he gets clear of 3 of them. Kicks towards left half forward. Some holding on going on there. Robin, Hall. Hall gives it off to Burke. Burke to Trianides. This is the moment in this game. Whoever can get the next goal.
Good
handball. Just about seal it. Francis caught, and could be gone. Play on. The advantage is paid. Burton goes long, down towards full forward. Bickley's lurking there. No one able to pick it up. Binky was at the bottom. Bickley goes again. Jarman is cruising, waiting his opportunity. Peckett gets it wide. They steady it down. Elliott chips it to Brown, and he's at half back.
Had a couple of important possessions in the last 5 minutes, Tony Brown. They've got to go down the corridor. Time is against them.
Tried to go, but was legged. Now they go straight down the middle. Mitchell was the target. Zilla is there also. Let's see what the defence can do. Mitchell a perfect pick-up almost. Zilla the hand pass. Stuart Lowe's got to try and bend it back in towards full forward. The mark is taken, however. And Jason Heatley spent a lot of time on the bench. Wants to...
Umpire's called time off.
He's got to come back
and take his kick.
Coming back. He wanted to lessen the angle.
Was that Andrew McLeod then it jumped up? He jumped pretty recklessly in that occasion there. Could have been a better attempt. That's the words I'm trying to use, Garrett, there.
Well, if he kicks this one, it's going to be a pretty important centre bounce next time, Curls.
10 points the margin at the moment.
Sneaking around.
Check side. 9 points the margin.
Well, Ozzie Jones is just the sort of player that can come on and bag a goal. He's got the pace, he's got the skill. Maybe it's time to throw him on for the last couple of minutes.
To bring it back.
Sorry, Sandy. Both sides 10 goal kickers.
Elliott! Higher than Sergei Bubka, but no mark. And the ball up. Dipper, you look composed on the boundary line.
I certainly am, Sandy. I'm sitting in front of the St Kilda bench here. Robert Harvey came off, as we saw. He has his left leg bandaged very heavily. It looks like he's put a hamstring there, so bad news for St Kilda. But exciting game from down the boundary line.
Oh, this is an exciting game from up here. Tony Brown goes into the open goal. He's scragged, and he kicks it behind.
Great work, Johnson. He's been a star tonight.
Looks like Brown's done a hamstring too, I reckon.
Might have even been Burton.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Burton. Downsborough takes the mark. And he's at half back. It was Burton. But This is Downsborough.
2 gettable shots at goal from St Kilda. They are going to rue their inaccuracy at the end of the match.
8 points the margin. It's not over yet, G. Don't worry about that. Stuart Lowe, a big leap. He saw Tim Elliott. He thought, I can do better than that. The Pittman hand pass to Costa finishes with Kane Johnson. Johnson to Nigel Smart. Now they're away. Smart gives it off to Tyson. He can go all the way. 55 metres out from goal. Shoots away to the left, and it's another behind. 9 points the margin. Aussie Jones is standing by to come onto the ground.
Called it again, Jared, beautifully.
Well, I think it's a pretty straightforward decision to get Aussie Jones on. He is a classical match winner. Tony Brown just coming off the ground. We saw his pace just let him down only a second ago.
Shane Wakeman takes the kick in. Nathan Burke is running for him. Should be free kick. He's got the free kick on centre wing, Dipper.
Yeah, looks like Tony Brown's also hurt his hamstring, as Dougie said, so their bench is not moving that well at the moment.
Burke goes short. Now trying to set something up. Ryan towards half forward, a penetrating kick. Ziller off the ground. This is dangerous times now as another one is wide. And we've got a throw in the right forward pocket, Curls.
Sandy, you've got to admire St Kilda. They were down and out a while back, but they're giving it everything they've got now.
Yep, dead right there. It's in their right forward pocket. The margin is 9 points favouring the Crows. Big game on Sunday night on 7. Elliott a little too far underneath it. Nigel Smart cuts across, tries to lock it up, but it's kept in play by Ryan. Centering kick a little too far, goes over the top of the pack. Ziller gives chase. McLeod is right there with him. Well done, Ziller. He's beaten 1, he's beaten 2. Tries to check side it back in towards goal. Walton almost completed a mighty mark. Not to be, however, and it's a turnover as the Crows come towards Rashido at half-back. He'll steady it down. He goes to the outer side, almost caught James napping. This could be interesting here because McLaren is there as well. Joey cuts across, goes back to Stephen Ziller, covering plenty of territory on that outer side. They keep it in play through Baker. The long kick in towards goal is wide, and it's another behind. Their opportunities are there. They haven't taken them at the moment.
I think Mark Rashido would be sighing with relief there that wasn't a goal, because he had 2 free Crow players out on centre wing. Kick went in between the 2 of them, and there was a turnaround. But they've got to take one of those opportunities yet, Doug.
They certainly do, Jared. And whatever happens in this game, I think Tim Watson will be absolutely great the way his players have been committed. They've been fantastic.
Johnson takes the kick in. That's a good kick too to Rashido at half-back.
To slow it down, but it's probably a little bit early in the piece for that.
8 points the margin. We've still got just under 5 minutes remaining. Anybody's game here at Football Park. Lowe, Pittman, neither able to mark. Lowe quick to recover. Here's an opportunity. Costa was held. Play on for Tyson. Takes his kick. It's high and it's long and it's Beaky. Has kicked 1 already in this quarter, and he could go a long way towards sealing this match.
Looked like it just fell into his arms. That one there, he didn't even realise. There it is again. Shane Wakeman got caught under the football. Max Hudson had an arm wrestle there with Darren Jarman. The ball just popped over the top.
Beaky for his second. Goes across the face of goal and will be lucky to score with that. No addition to the score, 4 minutes left. Hall brings it back. A little bit of urgency in that kick from Barry. To the outer side, Ryan tumbling a punt along the ground for most of the way. Gains 35 metres. Almost round to centre wing.
The Saints must get a goal shortly.
Yep.
They've got to score a couple of times to win.
Downsborough does the work from behind. Tries a little toe poke towards a Rashido. Here's an opportunity now. Oh no, that was an excellent tackle. And then Smart comes in again on Joey McLaren. Locked up at centre wing. Jarman has 3 for Adelaide. Robran has 2. They're the multiple scorers. Gavin Mitchell is the only multiple scorer for St Kilda. Nathan Burke, the hand pass is okay. Time's starting to run against them. They need a quick goal. Stuart Lowe unable to take the mark. What can he do? Tries to butter up again. Aussie Jones goes in, pushes the ball into the pack, and it's going nowhere.
Umpires letting a few free kicks go begging. Gavin Mitchell was just dragged out of the contest on that occasion. Turned around, appealed for the free, but none was given.
Just forward of centre for the Saints. Lowe couldn't take it. Costa could have been held. Down inside 50 now for St Kilda, but only for a moment. Bickley shows determination. He's had a great game, Tyson Edwards. Sensational game tonight.
Jeez, it was an important contest.
To Eccles on the outer side. Andrew Eccles looks up towards Binky again. Certainly making his presence felt. James too has been pretty good all night. Sweeps the hand pass inboard. Can the Roo pick it up and have a crack at goal? It's a high floating kick. And it's a mark at the back to Robert.
That was a class act in by Mark Rasciuto. He's had a pretty ordinary night, but he kept his cool, stayed disciplined, and he put it in the right spot for Matthew Robert, who's just outpointed Barry Hall on a couple of important occasions.
Yeah, he got caught under the ball, Barry Hall. He maybe could have pushed back a little bit harder. Easy to save me, Jared.
No doubt.
Robert for his third. And he's got it. The Crows could well be home.
Yeah, he's kicked 3 goals now. He's probably been the difference of both sides, I feel, in this second half. He's been brilliant down there. Yeah, Darryl Wakelin, who was forced from the ground with an injury. Now big Barry Hall's been given a job and has struggled a bit to contain him. But, you know, it's been the midfield of Adelaide. They've certainly turned the whole game around. Their midfield's been terrific. Johnson's been great. Costa's done a great job as well.
He started slowly, Matthew Robert, but he has stormed into this game and certainly left his mark on it with 3 telling goals. Elliott has tried hard all night for the Saints. Johnson can't get it out of the middle. It's Mitchell for St Kilda. Well smothered by Nigel Smart. Looking to close it out now with just over a minute remaining.
Tony Francis has come off the ground and he's been replaced by Darryl Wakelin, who I suspect has got a bit of an injury himself, but the St Kilda bench has just run out of options.
Elliott again wins it with the left hand. Costa has been very, very good. Holds it for a long time. Gives it to James. It's going to come back.
I think their last chance here, Jared, Stuart Lowe's got to be inside 50. He's no good being up the ground getting the ball there. He's the man that's got to try and kick him a couple of goals.
Not a good bounce. Elliott gets a hand to it. Smart tries to get a boot to it. James gets it out to Eccles. Andrew Eccles goes goalwards. Pushes it to the left from behind. The Crows are going to notch their second win.
Good luck with the votes here, Jared. Hard job, mate, tonight.
It is tough. Oh, this kick out is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. Nigel Smart. Proppy hand pass is going to sit Matthew Young towards the line, and it's over. And it is just about over for St Kilda. But very, very gallant here tonight. Both sides have had a number of very good players. Tyson Edwards has been excellent. Robran has been a major influence, especially in the second half.
I'll tell you what, Tim Elliott has done an outstanding job in the ruck.
Yeah. I think James has done a pretty good job for Adelaide as well. Barry Hall running with the flight of the ball takes a gutsy mark. That could be the last kick for him for the night as he goes towards half-back. It's all over. The Crows have won a thriller. The eventual margin, 15 points. Three goals to Darren Jarman, 3 goals to Matthew Robert. Tyson Edwards, big game from him. Very happy with his performance, no doubt.
Reasonable stats from Darren Jarman. Very efficient. 3 kicks, 3 goals.
Kicks, 3 goals. Umpires copying the rounds of the table from Crow fans as they leave the arena.
Probably a winnable game there for the Saints. They could have snatched victory there.
Let's go down to the ground. Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much, Andy. Well, Nathan, unfortunately, just couldn't get over the line. It's a terrific last quarter effort there.
It was a good effort, but we really needed it to make up for the third, which was very poor. And we had our chances, we had our shots, but we just didn't make most of them. And bad kicking's bad footy.
Now, yourself, you got yourself a bit of a heavy knock tonight. What was the situation there?
Oh, just a bit of a knock, and it just makes it a little bit tough to see for a bit, but it came good and come on in the second half.
I just thought Tim Alley tonight was just terrific in the ruck there tonight.
Yeah, virtually did it by himself, and they got some big fellas, and he just jumped in them all night. So he was very good, and Timmy's just going to get better and better.
Well, thanks for joining us, and Neil Curley, you got somebody there?
Yeah, thanks very much, Tip. Well, Tyson, that last quarter got a bit tight.
Yeah, it sure was. It was a very close game. It was close all night, and yeah, they played pretty well, but they come back at us pretty good, but we were lucky enough to sneak away.
Malcolm had to throw the side around a bit, and Pittman onto low was a good move.
Yeah, Pitto did pretty well. He's been in pretty good form, Pitto, and he certainly cut out Lowy a fair bit. He played a good game last week, Stewie Lowe, so it's good to cut him out.
1 quarter out of D. Jarman, 3 valuable goals.
Yeah, he turns it on at the right time, didn't he? Bloody asked for a bit at half-time from Jars, and he certainly produced the goods.
3/4 time, Malcolm seemed to be getting some feedback from the players.
Yeah, I think he's just asked a few of the boys a few questions of what was going on out there. He probably couldn't see what was happening as close as what the boys were, so just asked for a bit of feedback.
Well played yourself, a valuable 4 points. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Curls. It was well played by Tyson Edwards. A good team performance by the Adelaide Crows in a tight one. Not a lot in it all night till they're able to